Everybody, welcome to this week's special edition of the Sconni Sports Show. You'll notice Jeff is gone today. He's dealing with the kids, but I am joined by a former Wisconsin Badger turned NFL wide receiver, punt, and kick returner, Alex Erickson.
Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, perfect. So, a Darlington, Wisconsin native.
Yes.
No idea where in the world is Darlington.
Big city of Darlington. Southwest corner of the state, man.
Nice.
God's country.
So, are you the mayor there now, or what's the status on Darlington?
Not yet. No. No, Darlington's just good. You know, a lot of small towns in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Very similar. Small town, prideful people, good people, and good living.
Nice. Is that still home for you? Have you moved on to bigger and bigger places?
Yeah, we live in Madison the off season now.
Okay.
We're down in Cincy during the season, obviously, and then we live in Madison the off season.
Nice. You hear that a lot from a lot of the old Badgers, whether it be football, basketball. A lot of the guys seem to come back to Madison. What is it about the area that you guys decided to make home for a full-time residence?
Yeah, I just really fell in love with Madison, going to school here. My wife went to school here. So it's just it's a good community. You know, it's got everything you need when it comes to entertainment and stuff like that. But just the family atmosphere of raising family here is what drew us, and so close to home. When we get home in an hour and 10 minutes, so close to family when it comes to that sense, and then just the community feel is what really drew us back.
Sure. So everyone remembers their rookie season. This off season has to probably be your most memorable, if I do say so myself. How are you adjusting with the mega changes this off season for your NFL third season?
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, obviously the first 3-4 off seasons were normal, and then this one's just so different, and just because you don't know when it's going to end. So
Right.
From a training standpoint, it's a challenge because you don't know, like, when are we going to go back? So, like, where should I be at, you know, in shape wise and all that stuff. So that makes another challenge. But yeah, it's weird. It's something I've never been a part of, and hopefully I never have to deal with it again. But it's just a weird time when it comes to the football stuff, and obviously being healthy and family safe is the most important thing. But you know, it's just weird. It's such a weird time. I think everyone's in the same boat. No one knows when it's going to end. So that's just the challenge for everybody.
What kind of things are you being told? Like, have you had any inklings as far as when you're going to get to go report to the team facilities? Or are they still just as lost as the rest of us?
Yeah, they didn't really said too much. You know, we were supposed to do a virtual period for the first 3 weeks. This is the third week, and then they're going to reassess to see where everyone's at. But for the facility to open back up, all 32 facilities have to be opened up. So it's going to be a challenge with New York and, you know, all the stuff they're going through, and California. So the trouble states, you know, everyone has to be open back up for us to go back in. So that's where the real challenges lie. And so I don't know. We'll just play it by ear, week by week, and when they tell us we got to be back, I guess we'll be back.
Nice. How have you adjusted to NFL life? Was there any major culture shock for you? Were you pretty well adjusted going into it? What was your first thought going to the NFL?
Yeah, it's weird. You're not really sure. I mean, for me, going undrafted, so it's you're not guaranteed to make the team. So it was a battle the whole time. And then when you make the team, it's like, oh crap, now I got to find a place to live, and
no more hotel.
Living in a hotel, and then week one comes around and you find out make the team, and so you're trying to find a place, but you're gone the whole time, and so it's just weird. And then you actually start getting paid to play football, and so it ends up being pretty cool. But yeah, it's a challenge from that standpoint, because there's so much uncertainty. You know, your first year, especially if you're a late round draft pick or undrafted guy, there's just so much uncertainty. Like, am I going to make it or not going to make it? And then, so you're not going to find a apartment or house or anything until you make it. And then, you know, the challenges of every year coming back, and it's the same thing. You know, it's so competitive, and there's so many guys coming in that every year you got to prove yourself, and no one cares what you did last year. It's about what you can do now. And so that's the challenge of it. It makes it fun. It's so competitive, and it's pretty cool to get to do this for a living.
How big of a role do you think your Wisconsin roots played into that? Being the underdog, being the undrafted rookie. How much of that do you think the Wisconsin work ethic kind of played into that role for you to kind of grind it out and get you were the only undrafted pick to make the team that year? Do you think that played into it quite a bit, or do you think you just, what do you think kind of played into that role for you specifically?
Yeah, it definitely played a big role. My time at Wisconsin was very similar to my time how I started with the Bengals. Being undrafted and walk on. Everything had to be earned and nothing was given to you. And the Bengals are in a sense similar to the way Wisconsin was, where they're going to give you an opportunity if you prove that you work hard and you deserve a chance on the field. They're going to give you the opportunity, and what you do with that opportunity is up to you. And then Wisconsin obviously proven it, but also the developmental side of it. They unbelievable coaching staff and strength staff that I was able to develop my body and develop my skill set into a level that was able to compete at the NFL, the highest level there is. And so I think that's a testament to the program Wisconsin has and how they develop guys and give guys time and never writing guys off. And so I think, you see the track record of walk-ons, the track record of guys that are, not ranked 3 stars, 4 stars, and they go on to, be the highest paid position at their, highest paid guy at their position in the NFL. So it's a testament to Wisconsin, the way they do things and the way they go about their business.
What has been the highlight of your NFL career? Obviously, the first NFL touchdown. Let's go to that first. Huge return in the middle of a game that definitely changed the momentum around. What was that like for you? I mean, it's got to be a huge rush of energy at that point.
Yeah, it's weird because I didn't really do special teams in college, and then the NFL was kind of a little niche for me to, until I got a bigger role in offense. So it was something that I was picking up on the fly, and I did a little bit of punt returns in college, and didn't really do any kickoff returns in college. And the next thing I know, I'm week 1 in MetLife Stadium in New York City and 9/11, and I'm returning kicks, and so it was all a learning process for me, and just trying to find a role on the team and do whatever I can to help the team out. And so it was fun to have that challenge of playing something that I did kickoff returns and stuff like that in high school, and just being a ball player, it's very similar to when you got the ball in your hands on offense, but just learning a different role that I never really played in college, and then obviously developing in the receiver side. And so that's kind of been the most fun part, is the whole process of just where's it going to go next, how can I evolve my game, and how can I get better, and just play as long as I can.
Well, it's so crazy because you hear kids all the time growing up, I don't play special teams, I don't do this, I don't do that. But then you get that 2-year extension. I mean, it's got to show there's definitely an opportunity in the NFL for guys to make it. And if you look at today's NFL, most of the guys are making it that are on the bubble because of their special teams play. I mean, you said it yourself. That definitely set it apart from you to the next guy. How confident were you in there, or in that last week of cuts, going from the last preseason game to the first game? Were you pretty confident making the team? Were you still kind of on the edge yourself? Where was your confidence at going into that week?
Yeah, so quick rundown, like my first preseason, it was the week 1 of preseason. We're playing against Minnesota, and I was playing in the first half on offense. I was doing, I was doing really well at receiver, but like you were saying, if you're on the bubble, they're only going to keep 5 receivers, 6 receivers, so the first 2 guys are locked in. They're not going to play any special teams, and everybody else is basically playing special teams. And then one of the guys is not going to suit up during the game because he only suit 46. So you got 4 or 5 receivers that are playing the games. 2 are starters, 3 are really starters. So there's 2 other guys. You got to be special teams guys. So you got to find a way to play special teams. And they had the Bengals had a long time kick returner and punt returner guy that would he would split time with Adam Jones, Pac-Man Jones. And so I wasn't even on the depth chart for punt return or kickoff return, but I was playing on offense. And the second half comes around, I was gonna. They had another guy that they were trying to be the kickoff returner, really fast guy, and he ended up hurting his ankle. So then it was a fourth quarter, and the special teams coach goes, "Alex, get in there." So I get in there, and he knew I could catch punts because I stayed out. I always stay out in practice and catch punts, and just so I could prove that I could catch punts. So if something like this ever happened, and sure enough, it happened. And we're playing the Vikings. The punter just bombed. He bombed like a 70-yard punt, and so I'm retreating back. I catch on my shoulder, and boom, I go and bounce off some tackles, get around the edge, and next thing I scored an 80-yard touchdown. And then so the next week, as it goes, he gives you another opportunity, and I end up almost breaking another one. And then so week 3, he starts me in the preseason to see what I could do against the starters. And so I end up I've almost broken another one for touchdown and had a long return. So I was just like on fire in this moment. So they ended up releasing the guy that I was kind of battling with after that preseason game. So I knew at that point I had a really good chance of making it. But yeah, it was a pretty surreal moment when I made it, and so it was fun.
Who was the first person you contacted to let them know you were officially in the door? You were getting your first NFL game in. Who was the first call?
Probably she's my wife now, but she's my girlfriend at the time, and then my parents. Those are the people that I called.
Who was the most excited for you, do you think, at that time?
Yeah, they're all excited. They all knew how much work I put into it and how bad I wanted it, and for them too. They sacrificed a lot of time, and my parents sacrificed a lot of resources. Me growing up and in college, a lot of time traveling to all these games, and they came to all the preseason games at the time. So it was a big sacrifice for them too. They put in a lot of time, and they were there for me every step of it. So it was one of those moments that we were all in it together, and I was able to share that with them, which makes it special.
Any surprise coming into the NFL that you weren't picked up by a team in, say, the 7th round? Where was your agency at, or where was your stipulation with that? Were you pretty confident you were supposed to end up getting drafted, or were you kind of the idea of, all right, I know this is going to kind of happen where I do have to prove myself once again?
Yeah, I had a chance to get drafted, I thought. My agent thought that we had a chance to get drafted just from the talks he was having with teams and stuff like that. But yeah, I fell undrafted, which I've had a couple interviews about this, and I say it all the time. It's being drafted here, name call is like unbelievable moment, I'm sure, for all those guys, and it's something that you'll cherish forever. But being undrafted and being able to pick where I want to go, and my agent and I go through the rosters and see the best chance we have on paper. Being undrafted allows us to, put ourselves in those positions and see where guys are drafted in the early rounds, and then see where spots are still open and where you have your best chance. So it was good that it ended up working out, obviously, but you get a chance to pick where you're at if you go undrafted.
One of the questions from online, what was the opportunity for you to maybe come to Green Bay? Were they ever in the mix at all, or was Green Bay just kind of those, it's a childhood dream, but you're going to go, like you said, what makes the best fit for you as well?
Yeah, Green Bay wasn't in the mix at all. I don't know. It's obviously their evaluation process, or we weren't on their radar, and so then we weren't even looking to go there at all. It came down to the Vikings, the Ravens, and the Bengals were the 3 teams that we had. And it just came down to my relationship with the wide receiver coach at the time. The Bengals had. We had a good relationship, still do. But he's actually in Baltimore now. But so yeah, it was just a relationship I had with the coaching staff in Cincinnati, and the comfort level that we had. So that's what sealed the deal for me.
How do you rate the football fans of Cincinnati? It's not something that you often hear about when you compare some of the major NFL teams and their fan bases. How would you describe the game day atmosphere, so to speak, with Cincinnati?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the fans are the loyal fans. We've really struggled the last couple of years, so it's how that goes. There gets to be some negativity around the team and stuff like that whenever you're not winning. So it's some days are better than others, but the fans are there for us. They support us. They love the city of Cincinnati, loves the Bengals and the surrounding area in Ohio and in Kentucky. And so, it's a loyal fan base. It's just a matter of us doing our part. And so we're working. We're trying to get better, and we'll get there.
So new quarterback coming into this season. What's been
Yep.
the talks with you guys so far? Have you had an opportunity to connect a little bit?
Yeah, we just started. We do online meetings, so the rookies just joined us today, actually. So, Joe is going to be a great fit for this team, great fit for this organization. He's a guy that's done it the right way everywhere in his career. He's had to earn it too, and he's earned the right to be number one pick. And so, obviously, you don't become number one pick without being skilled and all that stuff. So, we're excited to see what he can bring and his leadership, and we know he's going to work hard and earn the respect of his teammates. So that's that goes a long way with the guys in the locker room, and it really helps build that culture that we're looking to build.
And you mentioned the struggle a little bit there in Cincinnati. What's it been like to work for numerous coaches? Has there been some major changes each and every time? Is it still one of the guys was talking about a lot of the scheming is still pretty similar. Obviously, being a skilled player, a little bit different than say the O-line perspective. What have you kind of noticed within the changes there within the Bengals organization?
Yeah, so it was a complete 180. We went from Coach Lewis, old school defensive guy, and now we got Coach Taylor, young offensive guru guy. So from a philosophy standpoint, they're very different in their schemes and stuff like that. But I think they're both. I think every guy that's had success at any level is built on hard work and putting in the time and doing things the right way. And Zach's no different than Coach Lewis, and so. But yeah, the scheme's completely different. We got obviously we're running Coach Taylor's offense, Coach Callahan's offense, so it's it's different scheme from what I had my first 3 years, and then last year and then this year obviously will be the same scheme, but. So that's a challenge. It's a challenge learning the new stuff and kind of flushing the old stuff and making sure you're just picking up on the new stuff that we're trying to install. So yeah, the scheme's a lot different, but it's good. I think it really helps every guy because we do a lot of different variations of stuff but it all looks the same. So it allows us to blend and use our skill sets.
What has been the number one adjustment that you've had to make to the NFL?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a game. It's so much faster than college, and there's no bad players, so you can't get away with having sloppy reps and stuff like that. So I think maybe the practice is the first thing, just how we practice in the NFL. College is. You got 105 guys on a roster. The NFL, you got 53. So, the roster is literally half the size. So learn how to practice the right way, learn how to take care of guys in practice, but while still getting, competitive reps and stuff like that was a big adjustment. And then obviously the games is just a lot faster. Like I said, there's no bad players. So you just got to be so sharp and, also the length of the season is so much longer. You play 4 preseason games, 16 regular season games over 17 weeks for college. There's no preseason, and then basically it's 12 weeks. So it's just a lot longer season. So staying fresh mentally, how to take care of your body, just being professional now. It's a whole nother ball game. It's a whole nother level up, and it's on you a lot. College is a lot of babysitting, guys. Everything's kind of scheduled out for you. Where the NFL, you come in at 7 and we're done at 5:30, and then it's up to you to make sure you know the playbook, to make sure you take care of your body, make sure you're eating right. So it's just a whole nother level of everything.
How involved are you still with the Wisconsin athletic program? Are you around the facilities quite a bit when you are around, or are you kind of more at home and dealing with other things? What's your relationship with getting back, like say to your alma mater there?
Yeah, I get back every once in a while. I try not to be there too much just because they're all busy and stuff like that. But no, I got a good coach. I got a good relationship with the coaching staff, Coach Chris and Coach Claudia, the strength coach. I mean, they're great. I mean, they're just a great staff and always fun to be around. And they always treat you like you're still there. When you come back, they joke around and give you gear, just to take care of you like you're part of the family. And so it's always good to get back. Always good to get around the guys and. Just once, like we always say, it's a big fraternity. Once you're a Badger, you're always a Badger, and we always look out for each other, and everyone takes care of each other.
What's your relationship with some of the other Badgers that are still in the NFL? Do you guys kind of get together the night of the game a little bit whenever you guys are in each other's town, or is there guys you're still relatively close with, or you guys just kind of you see each other, you say hey, and that's about it? How close are you guys still on the field yet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm close with a few of the guys. Obviously everyone knows each other. Um, the travel times are so tight that there's not a lot of time to go out and hang out really during the season. But we always say hi to after games. Sometimes you jersey swap with the guys, and um, just always cool to connect, and always cool to see guys that you played with or guys that played before you, guys that came after you now, which is weird. But it goes so fast. You see guys, you're like, man, I didn't even play with that guy, and he's in the NFL now. So it's it's weird, but yeah, everyone's still connected, and everyone looks out for each other. So like I said, once you're a Badger, you're always a Badger, and there's a lot of pride with wearing that W, and we all take care of each other.
Now you hinted at something that kind of makes me laugh, but I've been there myself. Do you ever find yourself saying, "Well, back when I first started, or back in my day," say that?
Yeah, yeah. My dad used to always say that. My uncles used to always say that, and it's like, geez. And now I heard myself say that. I'm like, man, I'm not getting that old, but someday, someday.
Nice. In terms of your off season, this off season specifically, what kind of adjustments have you made, or what are you doing to keep yourself ready for week one, whenever that may be?
Yeah, I'm keeping a very similar training regimen that I had. Obviously, with the gyms being closed and not as many guys around, doing I got to do a lot of stuff on my own, and so I mean, I got to set up in my house that has everything I need, so I can get all the weightlifting and stuff like that, and then just going out to the park and going in the backyard and getting all my field work in. So it's just it kind of sucks training by yourself because it's fun training with another guy and pushing each other and stuff like that, but it's also the challenge in doing it yourself and being accountable to yourself and staying disciplined, and so it's making it work. I hope I don't have to do it forever, but
Neither do
make
we.
it work. Yeah, we'll make it work for now.
What has been your highlight being in the NFL so far? What was your crowning achievement thus far? Obviously, we know you have many years hopefully ahead of you, but what's your year to date moment that sticks out to you so far?
Oh man, there's a couple of them. I think a playoff win would be great, but until that time comes, I think the personal just goals of like making the team the first year was something that I'll always remember. First touchdown is something I'll always remember. First start, getting to be able to run out of the tunnel and hearing them intro your name, stuff like that. Just stuff that you write down in your goal sheet in the beginning of the year, and being able to check it off the box is pretty cool. And seeing the fruits of the labor, all the work you put in, see that come to fruition, it's pretty special, and it just allows you to set the bar even higher and just keep trying to achieve new things. But yeah, probably the first, making the team, first touchdown, first start, or some highlights that I'll always remember.
What has been the weirdest moment so far in the NFL? Like, what moment do you just look back at and go, "Did that really happen?" Like, what, guys?
Oh man, can't really think of anything right now. I don't know. I can't really think of anything that's stuck out to me that was. Let me keep thinking about it. Maybe something will come up.
We talk a lot to the guys about their rookie season, and going back to those moments. What kind of events happened to you necessarily your rookie year? Did you have to shave the head? Did you have to do the whole buying the whole team lunch? What were those moments for you during the rookie season?
So luckily, we didn't have to do any of the wide receiver meal or anything like that, because AJ Green, he's super chill guy and just doesn't really care about that stuff. So he never made us do anything. And then, but we had to do like a talent show and training camp. So we had to do like these little skits and stuff. And I don't know, it's just stuff that at the time you're like super worried, freaking out about it. But then you look back on it, it's not a big deal. It's just part of becoming one of the guys, and everyone had to do it. So just kind of got to get it over with and let them laugh at you and move on.
In terms of your upcoming season, what's the big goal for this season for you?
Yeah, I think, personally, obviously becoming a starting receiver is a goal of mine. And then, as a team, we want to win. We want to win the division and, win our playoff games. And obviously everyone's goal is to win a Super Bowl. I think that goes without being said, but, winning the division's the first step of that. And so as a team, winning the division and then personally just becoming a starting receiver.
So I see in your background here, you are a agricultural degree holder from
Yeah. Got my wife's degree, got the diplomas up.
Yeah, I see that. Well, if you have it, you got to flaunt it, right?
That's right.
What would you be doing if you weren't playing football right now? Like, what's on the back burner for you as the what if?
Yeah, obviously I had a business degree, so I'd be something in business. I get asked that question a lot, and I guess I just put all my eggs in the basket when I went to make the team in Cincinnati and then making the team, so I never really had to pivot on that.
Sure.
But yeah, it would have been something business management. I don't know, finance, financial wealth management, or something. But
So how'd you get
hopefully,
into the agriculture side in college now? Because I noticed that wasn't in the spiel there.
yeah, so I was going a science degree, a biology degree. I was gonna go into like exercise science of athletic training or something, some personal training or something like that. And so I had all these science credits, but then I wanted to go to business. So
Okay.
the School of Agriculture has a business degree that you got to have a lot of science credits for too. So it allowed me to not have to go an extra year of college, uh, but still be able to get a business degree of some sort. So that's why I pivoted to the agriculture business management.
Okay. Nice. Makes sense. See, you're a smart guy.
Yeah.
They don't let dummies listen, I don't think. Want to talk a lot too about your charity foundation that you mentioned your wife had started a couple of years ago.
Yep.
What are the things you do, and describe more about it for everybody watching at home?
Yeah. So we started the Erickson Foundation like a year ago, and our focus is people with special needs, youth and people with special needs. My sister-in-law, Kelsey's sister, has Williams syndrome, which is a cognitive learning disorder. So we've always been involved with the stuff she's done and Special Olympics stuff. And there's a community center down in Mineral Point, Wisconsin, called the Hodan Community Services, which we do a lot of stuff with them. We do a golf outing every year, but so all their employees are people with special needs. And so I used to visit there when I was in college, and it was always the people there are just unbelievable, the employees. And it was like, they was a treat for them, for me to show up there, but in reality it had more impact on me than it did them. And so we always just wanted to give back to that. And so yeah, so we started this foundation, so donations people gave us that we could put it to good use and give back to the youth, and then give back to people with special needs.
That's awesome. Yeah. My what would now be future son-in-law, or not son-in-law, wow, stepson actually has some autism as well, so it's really cool.
Okay.
There's no real that I've seen football charities out here for that, so I wish more people were kind of like you and did stuff like that. But I'll definitely have to get more information from that on you for that, because I think it'd be cool to bring the kids down and do something like that. So it's always nice.
We do the camp every year and stuff like that too. So um, just trying to find ways to use the platform to give back any way we can. And I know people are looking for stuff like that, and obviously we're looking for places to give too. So if you or anybody listening has um, something that we can give to, you can reach out to the Erickson Foundation. We're on Facebook, or you can email us, the Erickson Foundation at gmail.com. However you want to reach us, it'd be great to get that info, and however we can help any way possible, we're glad to help.
Yeah, we're always looking to, obviously, as a show, and even before the show started here, something that we kind of recently started, but ourselves, that's always been a platform that we've always done. I grew up with a cousin with the Down syndrome, is really the community I kind of grew up around, and then went from there. And it's just unfortunate, you see people that look at them like they're so different, but a lot of these kids are so honest and so sometimes brutally honest, but it's nice to have that, versus a world full of the snakes in the grass, or that worry about people are coming to get you. It's nice to have that just honest, open, loving platform. I mean, those kids and adults, like you said, will love you to the death and, you know, love you to a fault, which is amazing because unfortunately, you know, sometimes the world we live in isn't that forgiving. So that definitely makes a huge, huge difference, you know, when it comes to life off the field. So
Yeah, for sure. And I know that, Kelsey's sister Krista, she's the most positive, loving person to be around. And um, we all have worries in this world, and we all have problems and issues. And um, but just to be around Krista and her friends and the people she works with, it's humbling and kind of just puts you in your place sometimes because you catch yourself complaining about, well, I'm sore or I'm tired, and all these issues that you think you have. In reality, they're very minimum. And then just being around them, so positive, and like you said, they're not any different than us. Um, they have some other challenges that they're dealing with too, and but the way their outlook on life, like you said, the honesty and just the positivity that they have is just something that we can all learn from, and we definitely need more of that in our lives.
So, has Corona taught you anything in terms of a new hobby, a new interest, a new language, perhaps? You know, what have you been doing with all your extra time necessarily away from the facilities here?
Yeah, I wish I could just start spitting out some Spanish or French or German or something to you, but uh, just knocking out a lot of house projects, doing a lot of stuff that I didn't think I was capable of doing. But you get on YouTube, and next thing you know, you're fixing stuff that you never knew you could fix. So it's kind of been fun. It's and just prove my wife wrong and showing her that I can do this stuff. So it's fun.
Are you guys a pretty competitive couple? You know, card games, is that the other? Is it just more of a she says no, you say watch me, and kind of go from there kind of thing?
Yeah, we're both very competitive. She was sports and all that stuff too, so we both are very competitive when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, so it's a little bit of both. We got the games that we're doing, but yeah, then she says no, and I say watch me too. So it's a little bit of everything.
You'll have to become the next Zach Ertz with his wife, I guess, pretty soon.
Yeah.
Cool. So, if secret fact someone doesn't know about Alex Erickson, what would it be? Like, what's a special talent that you have that most of us?
Actually, I wish I just had a cool talent, like I could play the guitar or sing or do something. I'm just boring, man. I can't sing, can't. I don't know, dude. Just a boring dude, I guess.
Of our secret hidden talents. I think, like you said, though, it's nice that you occupy some of that free time with the charitable foundation, whereas most guys, like you said, unfortunately take it for granted and just go me, me, me. You know, some of the guys may or may not have played on your team necessarily. You mentioned a player's name earlier in the podcast that was a me first guy, and it got him into a lot of trouble when he was in the NFL, and he had all the talent in the world and kind of, you know, off the field antics took care of that. So it's nice to see that homegrown Wisconsin mentality of the, you know, the I'm lucky just to be here and I know what I can do with that talent is always remarkable. You know, that's what I love about, yes, we interview guys from all over the world and stuff, but it's nice to always hear our Wisconsin homebred guys that are just, man, I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad to be a part of this. It's such a different contrast compared to the I'm blessed guys that are just, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. You know, they use that same phrasing over and over. So it's nice to have the well-rounded, educated Wisconsin guys, so to speak, that are just, you know, have that laid back, very cool, very easygoing personality. You know, use the Watt boys, for example. You know, there's three brothers that are just obviously freak athletes and that help get them there, but just the most giving, you know, guys you'll ever meet in terms of people. And I think that really, you know, and Russell Wilson, of course, we can't forget about Russell and the charitable things he's done when it comes to that give back type mentality. And that's awesome. I don't know if it's something that is just naturally in the water there in Madison, or if that's just kind of the product of the program or where that came from, but it's always nice to see that kind of kick into play.
Yeah, it is. I know there's tons of guys doing a lot of great things, and um, a lot of guys throughout the league doing a lot of great things, and it's just a matter of using the platform and knowing that we're all fortunate to be in the position we're in, and there's a lot of people that helped us get to where we're at today, and it's not just by your own God-given talent, because obviously that's a big part of it, but there's a lot of people that helped us get to where we're at, and just trying to use it. Doesn't have to be $1 million. It could be $10, $20, $100, whatever it may be. It can all make a difference, and seeing that all that has significance, and not overlooking the little things that you can do for people. And so yeah, it's a cool position to be in, and just trying to maximize it. And because it's a short window of time that we all get to play this game, and because Father Time's going to get us all, and so just trying to maximize it.
If someone were to come to Cincinnati, Alex, what's your go-to places? Where are the places that you recommend in and around Cincinnati?
I mean, for food, there's actually a lot of good restaurants in Cincinnati. You know, my wife and I, we love. There's a couple Italian places we love downtown, but there's one place that I always recommend to people. It's called the Eagle. It's fried chicken. It's unbelievable. It's an OTR, which is OTR's over the Rhine. It's an old part of town that they really started vamping up, and they got a whole bunch of new restaurants in there. But you know, Cincinnati has one of the largest Oktoberfests in the world. So yeah, it's very, you know, it's Midwest. It's breweries and bars, and so it was easy for me to get adjusted to, because that's what, you know, I'm used to.
Well, they're known for their chili too, right?
What's that?
Isn't Cincinnati a big chili place or something? I thought for a while that was a big thing.
Yep. So they're known for the chili, but it's not the chili you'd think of. It's not like Texas chili. So they put the chili over a bed of noodles, and then they put like this much cheese on top, like shredded cheese. And so it's Skyline, Gold Star. It's Cincinnati chili. It's not chili you'd think of. It's got like a sweet hint to it. But yeah, they put over a bed of noodles. It's I don't know. You gotta grow up there to love it, I think. And I didn't grow up there.
The noodle in your chili kind of guy.
Yeah, no, that ain't me.
Nice. So when you've gotten the free time, obviously the thing's kind of trending right now this off season. Joe Exotic. Speaking of Tigers and Bengals, Tigers. Have you watched it so far? What's your opinion on that show, if you have?
Yeah, I watched some of it. Man, I don't know what to think about that guy, or Carol Baskin or whatever. It's the thing that got me was right at the beginning of the show when the guy that directed it was like, hey, he was at this looking for a snake or something. This guy's like, hey, look what I just bought. And he goes out, and the guy's got a freaking snow leopard in his van. I was like, who like drives around looking to buy tigers and snow leopards? And I didn't even know like you could buy that stuff. And it was like a couple grand he bought that for. It's not like he's out there spending $1 million to get it. Like it's,
when you do like $3,000 for a baby tiger, $6,000. It's crazily affordable, which is why.
Yeah, I know. There's people that have baby tigers and they can afford it. It's like, I don't know. It's just a side of the world I never are. You know, especially the United States, it's something that I've never thought about. So but yeah, that guy had some serious issues.
Animal business done is what you're saying.
Yes.
What about the MJ series? Did you grow up a Bulls fan, or were you a Bucks fan being local to Wisconsin, or where was your allegiance to the basketball world growing up?
Yeah, so the NBA, you know, the Bucks weren't great when,
right.
You know, most of the time that, you know, they're good now. But so I was kind of always just followed the star guys. You know, that's the way the NBA is kind of marketed to. It's all about the stars. And my mom loved Michael Jordan, so we always had Michael Jordan stuff growing up. But he obviously retired when I was young. So I never really, you know, LeBron was the guy and Kobe was the guy that we watched, you know, growing up throughout the years. Because Kobe basically was starting when MJ was done. And so he was the guy that, you know, I always loved watching. And obviously LeBron now, and LeBron when I was growing up too. I guess he's been playing forever too. It's crazy how fast it goes. But yeah, but MJ, that, you know, documentary is pretty cool. It's you know, there's a lot of ways to win, and he's obviously a different approach than, you know, I would say not all the guys, but you know, there's guys that are, you know, look at his teammate Scottie Pippen or even LeBron. You know, I don't think LeBron's as hardcore as MJ was when it comes to his teammates and the level of accountability and standard that he sets for them. But he got the most out of his guys, and obviously you can't argue his track record and the winning. So yeah, he definitely seemed like an asshole at the time, but I think it, you know, paid off for him. And you know, all the guys say that, you know, he was a jerk, but he knew he was a jerk, and he was holding them to a standard that, you know, he held himself to.
Well, you haven't been around any of your teammates that banished a guy from eating, have you? Or had a
No, I haven't got my dinner taken away yet. So Haven't been around that, but yeah, it's a different. Like I said, it's a. But he said it last night. He said that I don't ask my teammates to do anything I haven't done, which is fair. And um, his leadership was, some say it was mean or whatever, but he wanted to win, and that's how he felt he was going to win, and it obviously proved to work out.
So growing up around the Green Bay locker room here, I've gotten to see quite a bit of different celebs, and you hear about them all the time. Your Lil Waynes, your Kid Rock was always around here in Green Bay. Who are some of the local star hangouts that are in Cincinnati for your games? Have you guys had that? Oh my God, this person's really a Bengal fan moment yet?
Not really. I think there's, some of the former guys that come back, but I don't really can't really remember a time that there was a guy that was hanging out that were like, holy cow. Um, yeah, so I can't really think of anybody. I can't think of anything.
Well, maybe this year will change that. What are your predictions going into the season? What are your standards or expectations with the new quarterback? Obviously a rookie coming in. What are your standards kind of looking into this season?
Yeah, they're high. I think they got to be. I think you got to set high standards and high goals, and um, so yeah, I think our goal is to win the division. You can't settle for anything less, and obviously we know it's going to be a challenge. There's going to be a big learning curve that we're going to have a young guy under center, replacing, Andy, who's been there a long time that, won a lot of games. So uh, trying to catch Joe up to the learning curve that he needs to get up to. But he'll do a good job knowing everything and all that. So it's going to be up to us receivers and, skill guys to really be in the right position. So he feels comfortable with the spots he's looking at. And so we can do everything on our part to help him.
Nice. Any particular player coming into this team, obviously besides Joe, that you're kind of looking forward to see what they can do?
Um, I think it's just another year in the system for everybody is going to be big for us. Obviously, they added some rookies and some the veteran guys, but I think it's just like every year there's a lot of turnover, so it's a matter of guys coming in and competing and pushing everyone to the same goals and having that connected team that we want in the locker room and really just growing as one unit. And yeah, another year in the system is going to be huge for everybody. There's so much you learn in the first year playing, and then this offseason you spend it watching the film of last year and the things that you want to do better and the things you did well, and how can you improve on both of those. And so another year in the system allow us to really just feel comfortable. And the first time you do something is always harder than after that it gets easier. So it'll be good to get in the system one more year and really just keep developing.
Is there a particular role that you take now being a veteran player with the younger guys that come in, or do you look at it as that as I'll do a little thing here or there? Do you kind of take pride in that, going, hey man, like I understand where you're coming from in that kind of capacity with the guy coming in?
Yeah, for sure. I always try to take initiative of being a guy that leads by example and being a guy that um, is always there for a resource for other guys. A lot of guys are like, well, it's not your job to help them or all this stuff. But I know my rookie year, there's guys helping me, and I remember those guys. I remember the moments they helped me and who they were and where they're at now. And those you don't forget those things. And uh, so I know that the impact it has on the young guys if you take initiative and just even if it's just introducing yourself and so they feel comfortable with talking to you in the locker room or outside the locker room, whatever it may be. Those things go a long way. So I always try to take initiative to introduce myself and say that I'm here if you ever need help. And obviously on the field, correcting them and working with them however I can is important as a veteran now or a leader on the team.
So I see you still do a lot with your local high school. Is there a career maybe in football coaching down the road for you? Is that one of the aspirations perhaps, or is it just
I don't know. I love coaching stuff. I would love to coach, but the time the commitment it is, and um, being away from the family, and I see the grind that those coaches put on, and the time they sacrifice away from their families. It's so it's not. I don't know if it's something that I'll do. But obviously, I'll have to address that when my time comes. But I love coaching. I love doing the youth camp and just giving back and just trying to share some of the knowledge that I have about the game, and just spreading that back to where I all started. It all started for me.
Yeah, I'll never forget. It's weird that you mentioned the grind of coaching staffs. I got a chance to coach a little bit with Green Bay up here a few years ago. I'll never forget meeting Dennis Erickson, if you remember him from the University of Miami, and I've
Yep.
worked in the NFL for years. Had no idea who he was sitting in the airport. I was just a young coach at the time, had no idea. And one of the other coaches go, "You know who you're talking to?" No clue. And it was Dennis Erickson. He goes, "Let me tell you something, young guy." He goes, "You don't look much older than 30. I said, "Nope, not even." He goes, "Do you love your family?" I said, "Absolutely." He goes, "Do you love your kids?" "Yep." He goes, "Then coaching is not the thing you want to do." So it's really stuck with me, from that point. It got me thinking, holy crap, I just thought it was a nice way to not have to run away from the game and not be one of those, couch coaches either. But yeah, it does make you think about that time away from family and what really is important. So it's kind of nice, as much as everyone downplays this time, it's got to be nice to have that extra time, like you said, around friends or family that you haven't really had before, having that extra little bit of, dinner time necessarily that you are limited and you are kind of forced to stay home with that special someone. So.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the silver linings of this all. We're obviously not working our normal hours or whatever, but it really allows us to put time and focus back on the things that are really important. That's our family and our kids, and just really maximizing that time. I think it's easy. I know for me to get lost in my work, and next thing you know, I'm spending X amount of hours at my work, and and not spending enough time at home. So there's a silver lining of this all. Is imagine it sucks and not being able to go out to dinner or go to the bar or go to a sporting event or a concert or whatever. It really allows us to maximize our time with our family and really the most important things in our lives.
Definitely. Well, it's nice to know that when I'm around the Dells is my second home, and it's not too far from me. I'll definitely have to be in touch and share some brews with you, and we'll kind of.
Yeah.
But want to wish you the best of luck on the season. Hopefully, knock on wood, that we'll get this thing rolling soon, and obviously we'll all be rooting for you here in Wisconsin. It's always nice to see our own doing well.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yeah, let's link up sometime, and anytime you want me on, let me know. I appreciate it.
Awesome. I'm a horrible golfer, so it should make the bets really interesting, but we'll definitely drink a lot of beer.
That sounds good to me.
For the rest of your time off, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.